Hey everybody, I just want to go over a couple quick practice exam questions from Prep Agent this morning as I get ready for the Prep Agent webinar this morning to do one on finance. I just wanted to share a couple of the questions that are frequently missed questions on the finance portion of the exam. So remember this one. The first one is an acceleration clause is inserted into a note that is otherwise negotiable. Adding this clause, A, has no effect on negotiability, but also is of no benefit to the holder of the note. B, makes the note non-negotiable. C, does not limit the negotiability of the note. Or D, is required for the note to be negotiable. So what does it mean to be a negotiable note? It means that it can be sold off, right? It can be exchanged. It can be sent somewhere else. It doesn't have to stay with the original person that the note was made to. So to make an acceleration clause means that if you don't pay your loan on time and you get behind on your payments or you do default on the loan in some sort of way, then they can speed up the time that you have to pay it off. So let's say that you're 5 years into a 20-year mortgage and you just totally flake out and quit paying the lender. They can use the acceleration clause, if there is one in the mortgage, to speed that up and say, hey, this is all due now. Let's get this over. Let's get this done. We're not going to play around anymore, right? So it doesn't have any effect on the negotiability, and it's not required, but it doesn't make it non-negotiable. So it does not limit the negotiability of the note is the answer on that one. Then the next question is, the type of mortgage loan which permits borrowing additional funds at a later date is called A, an extendable mortgage, B, a junior mortgage, C, an open-ended mortgage, or D, an equitable mortgage. And one that keeps letting us borrow even when we get to the end. One that keeps letting us borrow even when we have paid some of it back, and then we can reborrow that money and we can pay some back, and we can reborrow the money that we've paid back, like a home equity line of credit, for example. We call that an open-end mortgage. So the answer to that question is an open-end mortgage. Okay? Let's do another one. So the question is, which of the following is true of a second mortgage? Is it A, it is usually issued at a higher interest rate? B, it has priority over first mortgage, so it's first in line. C, it cannot be used as a security instrument, so in other words, securing the note, making the property collateral for the loan. Or D, it is not negotiable. Which one would it be? So the answer to this one is it's usually issued at a higher rate of interest. And why? Well, the reason why is because if a loan is a second mortgage, then there's usually a first mortgage and first lien position. So if something were to go wrong, the first mortgage is going to be paid out first, and then the second mortgage is often left out in the cold. So because it's a riskier loan for the lender, they're going to usually charge a higher interest rate. The next one is a release clause in a mortgage. What is a release clause in a mortgage? A, it releases a guarantor from further liability under specific conditions. B, it allows portions of the property given as security to be released from the mortgage lien upon performance of a specified act. C, it creates a lien second only to the lien of taxes and assessments. Or D, it provides for an option to extend its due date. So what does the release clause in the mortgage do? So usually a release clause is there when we have multiple pieces of collateral being held. Like we have a blanket loan with a bunch of different properties held as collateral under one umbrella loan. So if we pay part of that down, it would allow portions of the property given as security to be released from the mortgage lien upon performance of a specified act. That's the right answer. And the reason why is because as we pay that loan down, the lender would possibly remove pieces of collateral from their pieces of the secured properties and say, okay, we've got this balance down low enough. We don't have to hold all of this as collateral for the loan. You're free to do what you want with this piece of property, but because we still have these others to back up the loan, right? So that is the answer there. Then next, all right, ooh, this is a good one. When comparing a straight note with an installment note, the straight note, A, will have a total effective interest rate greater than if the loan were an installment loan. B, will have equal annual principal reduction payments. C, will have all principal payments during the term of the loan, including the last payment. Or D, will have no principal payments during the term of the loan except for the last payment. Now, first we have to understand what's the difference between a straight note and an installment note. And this is why we talk about vocabulary being so important. If we understand that the straight note is interest only and the installment note includes both a payback of the principal and the interest during the loan, then we know that the straight note is literally only the interest being paid over the life of the loan. So the answer to this question is that it is D. We'll have no principal payments during the term of the loan except on the last payment. The last payment is called what? The balloon payment, right? That's the big balloon that's going to pop at the end if we don't pay our loan off. So that's the answer to that one. There's not going to be any principal paid back during the term of the straight note because it's interest only. We pay all the principal back at the end in the form of a big balloon payment. All right. Next question is, charging an interest rate higher than the legal limit is called what? Is it compounding, usury, discounting, or graft? So compounding, A, usury, discounting, or graft. Which one is it? All right, this one is usury. So if there's a law that for different states have different laws, a lot of states have usury laws that says this is the highest interest rate that you can charge somebody and be under the legal limit. And if you go above that, you're breaking the law. So they've capped off the highest interest rate that a lender can charge a borrower. So if we go above that, then we would be breaking that law. All right, one more here. A credit score scale used by many mortgage lenders that uses a risk-based system to determine the possibility that the borrower may default on financial obligations to the mortgage lender is known as A, pre-approval, B, FICO score, C, balance sheet, or D, preliminary report. Hopefully everybody knows this one and also has recently checked this one on their credit report. This is the FICO score, right? The FICO score is our credit score. It's how that lender, one of the factors that the lender uses to judge if we are likely to pay back this loan. What's our history like? Have we always paid our loans and our bills in the past? Or if we have trouble or we paid late in the past? They will use that to determine our credit worthiness as part of their overall big picture about us when determining whether or not to loan us money. So again, I'm Maria Center from Prep Agent. Just wanted to shoot a quick study guide out here to you guys. Be sure to spend a lot of time looking over your finance questions before you take your test because as you know, finance is a big part of most real estate licensing exams. And it's also one that I see a lot of people struggling with. So make sure you really study the vocabulary and understand the concepts behind financing.